Practice 4. Mr. John, a person of Indian origin, visits India for the first time on 16th September 2019 and stayed for 6 months in India and moved to Sri Lanka. Again, he returned to India on 1st December 2021 and started a new business. Compute his status for the assessment year 2022-23 if his total income not exceed 15 lakhs per annum, and case B if his total income exceeds 15 lakhs per annum. So shall we go for the workings? First of all, we have to go with the int. On 16th September 2019, he was entered in India. On the 16th March 2020, check out, that means he entered out India. And again on 1st December 21, he entered in India. Based on this, we have to prepare the residential status calculation table like this. So, during 2021-22, he stayed 121 days. During 2021, he stayed 0 days. During 1920, he stayed 181 days. Now we have to apply the provisions of the IT Act. In case A, if his total income not exceed 15 lakhs during the previous year, we have to apply the basic condition as per section 6 subsection 1. Mr. John, a person of Indian origin, has visited India but not satisfied the basic condition for the accounting year 21-22. He has stayed less than 182 days during 21-22 in India, so he was non-resident. In case of case B, if his total income exceeds 15 lakhs, the provisions may change. So the basic condition as per section 6 subsection 1, Mr. John, a person of Indian origin, has visited India but not satisfied the basic condition for the accounting year, but he has stayed more than 120 days. During 21-22, he stayed 121 days during 2022 in India. So he was a resident but not ordinary resident. In the same pattern, everyone can apply the exercise 4. Now I am going to practice 5. Mr. Alex, an Sri Lankan citizen, entered into India as a business trip on 30th May 2020 and returned back on 30th November 2021. Determine his status for the assessment year 22-23. First of all, we have to go for the int. On 30th May 2020, he entered in India, and on 30th November 2021, he moved away. So based on our residential status calculation table, during 21-22, he stayed in India 243 days, and during 2020-21, he stayed 306 days in India. Based on this, we have to apply the basic condition. As per section 6 subsection 1, Alex has stayed more than 182 days, that means 243 days in India during 21-22. Hence, he has satisfied the basic condition, so he was resident. If resident, we can go for the additional condition. As per section 6 subsection 6, Alex has not stayed as resident in 2 out of 10 previous years preceding the relevant previous year 21-22. He stayed in India only 2 years, including our previous year 21-22. So he has not satisfied the second additional condition under section 6 subsection 6. Hence is resident but not ordinary resident. In the same pattern, the listeners can practice exercise 5. And now I am going to move for practice 6. Mr. Bond, a foreign citizen, furnished the following information about his stay in India. Determine his residential status for the assessment year 22-23. Actually, in this problem, Mr. Bond's presence in India was given very clearly, so no need to prepare the residential status calculation table. Straight away, we can apply the provisions of the IT Act. So, basic condition, as per section 6 subsection 1, he has stayed more than 60 days, that means 70 days in India during 21-22, and he has also stayed more than 365 days during 2021, 1920, 18, 19, and 17, 18, his total presence in India was 382 days. So he satisfied the basic conditions, so he was resident. If resident, we can go for the additional condition. But Mr. Bond has not satisfied the additional condition. He has not stayed in India as a resident in 2 out of 10 previous years and not stayed more than 730 days during past 7 previous preceding the relevant previous year 21-22. Hence, he was resident but not ordinary resident. In the same pattern, the listeners can practice the exercise 6. The answer is resident and ordinary resident. Now, I like to move how to determine the resident status of an HUF. The head of the family is called Karta. How we can determine the status of Karta? Tax provisions for determining the resident status of Karta, head of the family, is just as similar as individuals. While determining resident status of Karta, provisions of section 6 subsection 1 stated that if the control and management of its affairs is wholly or partly in India, is resident. If the control and management of its affairs is wholly outside India, Karta's status is non-resident. If the Karta's status is resident, we can go for additional condition. Under section 6, subsection 6, if Karta of HUF satisfies both the additional conditions, is treated as resident and ordinary resident, otherwise resident but not ordinary resident. Let's see exercise 7. A HUF is carrying business in India and having head office at Chennai. Agarwal, Karta, left India for the first time on 30th January 2021 to Singapore as business trip. Determine his status for the assessment year 22-23. Actually, here in this exercise, Mr. Agarwal, he stayed up to 31st January 21. So he has stayed more than 182 days during our accounting year. So he is resident and ordinary resident. In the exercise 8, Mr. Mukesh Lal, Karta of family, who is resident in India during 21-22 and has stayed only 1 previous year out of 10 previous years preceding the previous year 21-22 and having head office at Singapore. Actually, head office at Singapore, and he has satisfied the basic condition, but in the problem itself it was clearly stated that he has not satisfied one of the additional conditions. So his status be determined as resident but not ordinary resident. Okay, I hope everyone will understand the concept. Thank you. Bye.